Hi, I'm Roger Bonder, your host for Breaking Ground. This show is designed to highlight the many positive initiatives that are happening in agriculture in this province today. A good example of a positive initiative is the school vegetable program that is happening in many schools in the province. We put our focus on C.C. Laughlin, a school on the west coast in Corner Brook. The program is a highly successful venture that has benefited everyone who gets involved with it. Ever go to your local supermarket and have trouble finding fresh local produce? Well, efforts by both government and the agricultural industry are being put into place to alleviate that problem. A marketing logo has been developed to highlight fresh, secure provincial produce. Glenn Smith has taken on the challenge of getting this logo off the ground and has hoped it will appear on your local supermarket shelves very soon, along with a lot more provincial produce. And this week, Ann Budgell will be helping guest chef Brian Abbott cook up a meal that we're sure will make your mouth water. Brian always makes it a point to use fresh local meats and vegetables in his Restaurant 21 kitchen here in St. John's. Now, why would you want to go to another channel with a lineup like that? When we come back from this commercial break, we'll be heading out to Corner Brook. See you in 2. Now we're off to the West Coast to have a closer look at the school vegetable program.
There's nothing like a good idea, and usually the best ones are the simplest ones. Take, for example, the school vegetable program. This good idea harvests a whole lot of winners. Firstly, it's the farmers. Ernest Romaine of the Port-au-Port Peninsula tells us why he wins.
Over the last 8 years, I think we've graduated up to, 6 schools that we're doing here this year. And you move quite a bit of product, I'll tell you that much, because it's amazing what them children can go out and sell over the period of a week or two. I mean, really, they only got 2 weeks since school opened, so it's basically, well, maybe 3, but and it's surprising the amount of stuff there. I say we should do over 50,000 pounds of vegetables on this program this year alone.
Basically, the school vegetable program is a fundraiser, so the money goes back to the school. So the school wins.
The monies raised all go back to the school in the form of different types of playground equipment. As if you've been around the school, we have a lot of benches installed. We have a walking trail here. All of those things were done through the means of these fundraisers and the money raised. We had some trees planted, and we're continuously buying extra equipment, anything to make the child's experience here more memorable. We want the spot to be a community more than just a school, somewhere where they can go and enjoy all aspects of their childhood. And that takes playing time and the beautiful and making the spot beautiful for them. And a lot of money goes in. Most of the stuff people think it maybe come from the schools or the school awards, but it's not. It's not always the case. It's the efforts of the volunteers and the money that we raise that supplies all that equipment.
Well, if the school wins, you can be certain that the children and the parents win. The kids get to learn where their food comes from, and parents get that sense of community.
One of the, I think, big goals of the school here is, to have our children make connections between what happens in school and the world outside. And of course, environmental issues is certainly paramount in that. And we have a major program here at the school where we, have children take part in planting. They take part in weeding activities. We have a club called the Green Thumbs. We have our own greenhouse on site. We have a major recycling program that happens here at the school, and through those, variety of activities, children gain a whole appreciation for many of the things that they study out of the textbooks. They can make that connection to their community and realize the importance of the activities that they do. Once again, it's that connection with what it is that farmers do and the importance of our local farmers, and supporting that and doing that through the celebration of Thanksgiving, but also, creating that awareness, which is one of our goals here. The other thing that we love about this project is that, of course it's a fundraiser for our school, but it's much more than that. We want, one of our major goals at C.C. Laughlin is to create a welcoming environment for our parent community. And you know, having the vegetables come in, our parents participate in the organization of this activity. Children are involved with their parents, and then having parents come by the school to pick up the vegetables and walk off with them with their child, like, it just gives you a very nice feeling of community.
Well, the winners are really piling up here. Well, believe it or not, there's more. Mike Fleming, a driving force behind the whole concept, tells us when he got involved and talks of even more winners.
When I started with my children in school, it was nothing but chocolate bars. And as a council, a school council, that always rubbed us the wrong way. So when the idea of presenting vegetable was there, vegetables, it became an absolute gem of an idea that didn't take no persuasion. Love to get kids involved in eating vegetables, like to have the farmers helped out in the same initiative. This is a wonderful partnership, the school vegetable program, between the Horticulture Producers Council and the Department of Natural Resources. And I've always said it was a win-win situation, and we're being shown over time that it is. We would love to be able to see the school vegetable program being up in almost any school in the province that we can get it there. I attended a meeting with principals last year with the Western Board. Very, very keen reception of getting this up and going in their schools. 4 schools that day, as a matter of fact, picked up this initiative as one of their fundraisers.
Oh my, more schools, more winners. Well, wasn't that school vegetable program a great idea?
Hopefully, the kids and their families will continue to buy local produce when they do their weekly supermarket shopping. Now, when we come back after these short messages, we'll look at a marketing strategy that will make that happen more often. Provincial farmers supply only 10% of the local market. There are some farmers who believe we can bump that up to 70 or 80%. Here's one of those initiatives that will help to reach that goal.
Agriculture in this province is constantly expanding and changing. More machinery, use of more innovative techniques, emphasis on marketing, all add up to a vibrant industry. But despite this image, there are still big problems facing the farmers and, in turn, the small and big retailers in this province.
They want local produce. They can't get enough of it. And all indications from the customers that we've been dealing with, the Sobeys, the Dominions, and the Colemans, are, come on with the local product. We want more of it. We want a steady supply of it. So the more we can produce, the more they'll support us. We only meet probably 10% of our needs here locally. In other words, for every 1 bag of potatoes that we grow and package, we need to bring in 9 more just to meet the local demands.
Glenn Smith of the Newfoundland and Labrador Horticulture Producers Council is aware of some of these problems and has been charged with the task of branding provincial vegetables.
Best Kind is a brand name that we've developed as an industry. We want to create an identity that we can market Newfoundland and Labrador produce under, so that consumers, when they go into retailers like Sobeys, Dominion, Colemans, can recognize Best Kind as being a locally grown product.
Marketing any product can be a complicated affair, but sometimes complicated strategies can be pared down to a simple approach. Dean Rousel and his wife Jewel operate a farm in the Springdale area. Just listen to how they solved their marketing problem.
In Green Bay, there was like 10 or 12 farmers selling door to door, which was very competitive. So I got into a farm market in Springdale about 15 years ago and built it up over the years. And then we got involved with a big supermarket across the street from our farm market, and they got very envious of how much produce we were selling and got very upset. So we sat down and talked to them and decided to move inside their supermarket, which is very unique. So our farm market now is inside a supermarket. Our sales doubled over the previous year, which is good for us. Their produce sales went up by 20 to 25%, which was good for them. So it was a win-win situation.
Glenn is very aware of the Dean and Jewel story.
What Dean has done at that one location in Springdale is really what we like to see at all supermarkets right across the island. A dedicated space in the produce section where consumers can come in and regularly find Newfoundland grown produce under the Best Kind brand and know that it's going to be there from week to week.
So if the Newfoundland and Labrador farmers get that produce out on the supermarket shelves, will the consumers buy?
Wholeheartedly, people said the same thing. If they know it's local, they know it's price competitive, and they know it's fresh and it's safe food, then they will support Newfoundland grown produce over imported produce any day of the week.
So be sure to buy local vegetables and meats and insist that your local supermarket does so too. Now we're off for another commercial break. When we come back, we'll be in Ann Budgell's kitchen with special guest chef Brian Abbott. See you in 2. Now comes the fun part of the show. Ann Budgell is standing by with Chef Brian Abbott of Restaurant 21.
Hi everybody, I'm Ann Budgell. Welcome to my kitchen, and today I've got Brian Abbott here. He's a chef, he's a cooking instructor, he is the owner of Restaurant 21. That's right. And a lot of people enjoy the food there, Brian.
I hope so.
So today he's going to give us some of his secrets, and what are you going to cook for us today?
Today we're doing a lamb curry stew.
Yum.
Beautiful dish. Then we have a potato chutney. And we're also doing what I'm going to demonstrate is a carrot and cinnamon orange puree.
Yum, yum, yum. Yeah. Well, I've never heard of potato chutney. I'm looking around his shoulder now because he's got it over there, so I'll get you to tell me a little bit about that also. But lamb, I love lamb.
Lamb is beautiful. It's a beautiful, and lamb is very popular in Newfoundland. And this is a great product.
It smells so good in here already, everybody. I wish we could transmit that out to you. Okay, so carrot puree.
Yeah, this is a very simple dish. First I'm going to peel the carrot with my handy dandy carrot peeler.
He's got a good peeler.
It's a good peeler, yeah.
How much carrot are you going to use in this recipe?
I'm just going to use approximately a cup. I'm only going to make a small serving, enough for a couple of people. So, I remove these peels over here. Oh,
so you got to get that thing peeled up, diced up.
Diced up in the pot.
Let's see the chef's dicing technique now. Zoom in on this.
Watch me lose a finger here right in front of everybody.
No, don't go doing that.
I'm going to cut them fairly small here because I want them to cook nice and even. And it'll cut down on the, most everybody don't have a lot of time for cooking, so cut your vegetables a little smaller. It'll take less time to cook.
Found some lovely large carrots.
These are beautiful, yeah.
Always easier to cut.
Always easier to cut, yeah, definitely.
I think a lot of people, just do the same thing with carrots over and over and over again,
They do, yeah, just boiled with Jig's dinner, which, don't get me wrong,
I love
it. But it's not really, all right. We can mix it up. I already have some in here.
Yep.
And I'm going to get these into this little pot.
So we're going to boil up a few carrots now, and with the cinnamon stick in there.
With a cinnamon stick. I like using the large whole cinnamon stick. I think they release their flavor better. And it's going to take about 10 minutes or so for these to cook. I'm also going to add an orange to it.
You're going to zest?
I'm going to zest it, yeah.
This
is a little rasp. You can get a Canadian Tire.
I've seen those, and I haven't bought one for myself yet, but they are the clear thing, those things.
They're great, yeah. I do put the orange into the carrot. Orange is great.
Another beautiful smell.
Oh, yeah. I put the orange peel right into the carrots because the membrane on the inside is a little sharp, it's a little bitter.
Yeah.
So you usually blanch them off to get rid of that. So I'm going to cook it right into this and that'll infuse, one of the new modern cooking terminology they use these days, it'll infuse right into the carrots.
That thing does a really efficient job.
Oh, that's perfect.
Get all the zest in there.
Yeah. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt into this too.
You must be using sea salt.
I always use sea salt, coarse sea salt, yeah. And we'll put it on back here. make sure we turn on the right burner, and away we go.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to get you to do the orange.
Okay. I've got my juicer here.
You got the juicer, there you go.
Thank
so
you.
So we're going to put, excuse me, we're going to put the whole orange,
Right.
the juice of one orange, into this little handy dandy
Okay.
container. Now, we already have some carrots already blanched off or already cooked. Now, you want to cook them until they're very tender. Because we're going to puree them with a, we're going to puree them with a immersion blender here. So when we take out those, they're not going
Right.
to, we'll put that in there.
I should have a little compost bucket, really.
Compost, good thing. Compost is a good thing, yeah. Yeah. We actually keep all our vegetable scraps, peels, for a local farmer comes to get it to feed his lamb, actually.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
So,
Perfect.
we feed animals vegetables. Imagine that.
Now this, do you want this juice in there now?
You can place that right in there, yeah?
Okay.
Beautiful, look at that. That's great. Now, we have some butter. So I'm going to use unsalted butter now because I already salted the water.
Yeah.
And I can always taste it after if I need to add more salt.
Now, a lot of recipes call for unsalted butter. If you use salted butter and omit the salt in a recipe, are you going to be okay?
Yes, you can be okay, but then for cooking it's not so bad. For baking might be a little issue
Yeah.
because some baking dishes don't require any salt at all.
Sometimes it's hard to find unsalted butter.
Sometimes it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So guys out there, make some unsalted butter. So we're just going to puree this. Hopefully now we don't paint the walls. So you puree this until it's nice and smooth. If you find that it's not going smooth for you, you can always add some a little bit of cream or a little bit more butter. Now I'm just going to place that right
Sure.
there.
And of course, he's already got some pureed.
Already got some done, yep. So we
And
got
a
the carrot
beautiful
puree.
color it is,
Isn't that
too.
beautiful?
Gorgeous color.
Yeah. So you got a
Rich.
nice, rich.
Now you're piping this.
I'm going to pipe it on the plate because I want to make it look like it took me all day to do this. So this is a nice little way. Cooks and chefs, they use a lot of ring molds and a lot of different things to make plate presentation. Food has to look good. We eat with our eyes, so if it looks good, people are more susceptible to trying different things. So
I know it. And some stuff looks like it's taken a long time, but you're telling me that this is actually easier to do than it looks.
this is very easy, yeah.
And
yeah.
I think, you know what, you could make one of these piping bags out of like a freezer bag,
A
you know,
freezer
one of
bag
those.
would work
yeah.
absolutely perfect, yeah. Oh, now I'll leave this here. So if you turn down the side of the bag, it keeps it nice and clean,
Right.
so you don't make a mess
Get
everywhere.
your puree in there.
Get your puree in there. Now I already just cut this. You can use a cloth
Oh,
bag too.
pretty.
There you go.
Okay.
Now I'm going to place that, and we're going to the plate. We're going to
Right
plate
on.
up here now. I got a nice white plate here.
The plate, as big as a flying saucer.
We don't have to fill up the plate. You know, the old days of putting everything up to us piled high, the big buffet style.
I know, and then eating it all.
And then trying to attempt to eat it all is not
Yeah.
what we need to do.
Now the chutney, you've got to tell me a quick word about that, this potato chutney.
I took a whole potato
Yep.
and I just boiled it whole till it was fork tender. I took it out and then I let it cool and then I diced it up. Just like if you were cutting hash browns
Or making a potato salad or something.
Making a potato salad.
Yeah. And what have you got in there with it?
Again, I used some whole seeds. We got some coriander, cumin, and cardamom seeds, or not cardamom, sorry, mustard seeds, coriander seeds, and cumin seeds.
Yum,
and
yum.
I just got a little salt and pepper to taste.
Okay.
Then I sauteed it off with some lemon and a little bit of butter. Lemon zest and a little touch of lemon, because that's chutney should have some acid there.
Get it on the plate,
Get
my
it
dear.
on the plate. And yogurt. I finished it with yogurt. So I'm going to put a little bit on this. And I like this dish, keeping the seeds whole. I toast them off. I got some black mustard seeds in there. Now,
Well, we need to see the artistry.
yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. I'll put that on the plate. And then I have our
The delicious smelling,
curry stew.
gorgeous. And the colors are perfect too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And again, I use the whole seeds in this. And the orange will offset the heat that's in the curry.
Now,
Now, we can place a little bit of this around the side like this.
oh, how pretty is that?
There you go.
Oh, and don't forget the coriander, the cilantro.
Cilantro, yes. Cilantro is the leaf. Coriander is
The
the
seed, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And there we go, like that. Is that a beautiful looking dish?
It is.
And the carrot puree took no time at all to prepare. It can be done within probably 15, 20 minutes.
It's beautiful, and I'm going to eat the whole thing right now.
You're going to have to share.
Brian Abbott, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And as Brian Abbott will tell you, everything tastes better if your produce is fresh and local. On next week's show, we're heading off to Labrador to do a follow-up story on the Pye family. After receiving the bad news that their older farm had been contaminated, the daunting move to 50 acres of uncleared land on the Mud Lake Road has proven to be very much a success story. After a lot of hard work, their new farm has opened up new opportunities, not only for them, but also other farmers in the area. Triple E Farm in Comfort Cove has a history that goes back 3 generations. There was a time when the vegetables were harvested by hand, rowed out to a schooner, and delivered to the customer by boat. It involved a lot of time and hard work. Well, the hard work part of it still remains, but the means of delivering and marketing has changed quite a bit. The Eveleys still love what they do and are changing with the times. And next week, we're back in the kitchen with Ann Budgell and Chef Kitty Drake. Kitty is always full of surprises, and her next presentation will be no different. Tune in to see what she has cooking. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed yourself. We'll be back in 7 days with more Breaking Ground.